Hello, Rochester. We are at a crossroads in America. These are difficult times for our country, our state, our city, and the law enforcement profession as a whole. One thing is for certain, and two things are for sure. The anxiety people have toward law enforcement is not going anywhere. Over the last week, we have heard calls for change from people protesting across the nation, to include right here in Rochester. When those calls are no longer heard and silence begins to set in, it is the silence which we should be worried about, not the noise. Because silence means no one is talking, no one is communicating, and nothing is being done to effect change. We are going to be measured by what we do, not by what we say. As leaders, we must be able to listen and empathize with people. The one word that describes the feeling many are experiencing right now in this country is pain. Pain that is not going anywhere. Not yesterday, not today, and not tomorrow. We must channel the energy we are experiencing in our country and find a release that can lead to positive change. In the midst of uncertainty lies opportunity. It is up to each one of us to define that opportunity. As chief of the Rochester Police Department, a lifelong resident of Rochester, and as a person of color, I understand the trials and tribulations of certain communities in America. I am aware of the feelings of mistrust toward the police and the lack of legitimacy felt by many in certain communities, especially communities of color. We have worked hard to establish relationships with residents in our community, and we have worked collaboratively with many in our community. Within the Community Affairs Bureau, our officers have taken part in numerous community functions to include neighborhood meetings, community outreaches, and community events totaling nearly 3,000 hours. I say that to emphasize the department's commitment to strengthening relationships with residents. In my nearly 2 decades in the law enforcement profession, and since I've been chief, I've strived to build relationships with everyone in our community. The priorities which I have focused on are crime, continuing collaborative efforts to make our community safe for our residents, community engagement, extending an olive branch to residents in our community, not just in times of crisis, accountability, being accountable to the community and one another, professional development, always striving to become better as an organization, transparency, being open to dialogue and discussion. It is not what you look at, it is what you see. We all may look through a lens and see something totally different based on our perspectives, our perceptions, and our backgrounds. With respect to perceptions, training, such as implicit bias and procedural justice, are so important to our growth as individuals and our profession. I have a great level of respect for the officers of the Rochester Police Department. That is why I expect so much from them. We know there are people who want to be heard, people who want to see change, people who want to have constructive dialogue, people who want to have difficult conversations. It is hard to hate up close. We must continue to have courageous conversations. We must be able to sit across from one another and have difficult conversations and listen to each other's point of view, with the goal of walking away with some understanding, even if that understanding is agreeing to disagree. In order to affect change in our community, we must be the change we want to see and seek out opportunities to impact that change. I stand on the shoulders of those who have come before me. Had it not been for the very people in our history who stood for change, who protested for change, I would not be in the position as chief of police for the Rochester Police Department. Right now, we need inspiration. Right now, we need hope. We have to ask one another, where do we go from here? How do we move forward? As chief of the Rochester Police Department and as a leader in this community, I remain committed to doing what it takes to continue to establish and strengthen the relationships between the Rochester Police Department and the community in which we serve.